Welcome to the Activity Call Live. Now let's hear it for our special guest host, Mike and Noel Lewantowicz.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Glad to see Alliance Nation out there. Hey, coming at you from my office here in Louisville. And guys, it is fun watching what's going on around the country right now. Our business is in a spot where good things are happening. They're happening in a lot of places. Was just hearing and getting updates from Andy's travel as he's crisscrossing around the West and Southwest and making his way back to the East Coast. Things are cooking and moving. You'll hear a little bit about what's going on there. I'm happy. I've been out on the road meeting with people last week or this past week. I've been in Philadelphia. A lot of things in that region are happening. I'll be in Florida this coming week and in Atlanta next Saturday. So, guys, it's a fun and exciting time as we are growing. While there may be uncertainty in the economy from other areas, our business is moving and shaking. And we are attracting good quality people that may be displaced from other businesses. You have a chance to grow and do some big things. And we're going to talk today about things that leaders on our team are doing and executing that's driving growth and making things happen. So as you're sitting here today and you're thinking, hey, how do I get my business moving forward? If you're thinking about building something big, we're going to be talking about tools to help you. I promise that. I'll also tell you that if you're just getting started, you're like, okay, how does this relate to me? That's something you should be asking. And here's what I'll tell you. Maybe you're not ready right now to jump in and do something big, or maybe you are. But if you're not, I want you to listen to how you can maximize the help and support, and how do you get the most support as you're moving forward with your business. How do you get someone that's able to come in and assist you, guide you, spend time with you, and help you learn? So you can look at this from both sides as you're sitting here today. So I'm hoping this helps you out. I hope you're going to see some good perspectives from people on our team. We are really, really, really fired up to share with you. All right. So a couple things within our program. I'm here today because my buddy, my mentor, one of them, Alex and Jenny Avian, reached out to my wife a long time ago and said, hey, would you like to make some more money? That conversation, that simple, would you like to make some more money, opened doors that allowed Noel and I to change the trajectory of our life. It's allowed us to make a turn on our family tree and produce and do some things and create a lifestyle we couldn't have imagined. So first of all, I'm grateful for that. And I tell everybody here that, one, because I'm grateful for Alex and Jenny, but also because, hey, they took a risk. They chose not to worry about what Noel thought. They just said, we're going to give her a shot. So I would just remind you, who else is out there that maybe you need to reach out to and give a shot to and not worry about what they think. Give them a shot. Put a hand out. Say, hey, man, thought about you. We're growing. We need some help. Thought I'd see if you want to make some more money and help some families. So having that conversation. Next, I'm grateful that Andy Albright is full of energy and he is pouring on the gas still when he doesn't have to. He enjoys getting out there, playing the game, serving you and people on your team. And the fact that he is making himself present. I've been able to be on the phone with him a couple times in the past week and a half, getting coaching from him. He is still all in on pouring into people, whether face-to-face. I mean, you look at who we had with him on the jet this week, traveling between Andy Riddle and Mike Marisi and Adam Katz and going out there and serving in several cities. I'm grateful to have a leader that's setting a pace and setting an example, which kind of ties in today a little bit about, hey, going to grow. And how do we make that a part of our business? As you start to roll, hey, how do I go and serve people? And what does it look like? And some of you might be like, I've never traveled to serve somebody before. Or maybe I have. Maybe you've traveled and didn't get the results you wanted. Maybe you've traveled and maybe you went and saw the wrong people. Maybe you traveled and did the wrong thing. Maybe you traveled and had great results and it came together and it's had an impact on your business, but you're looking to get a little bit better. So whatever that is, we're going to be covering different thoughts and how do you leverage, what's it look like when you're out there working in your business and working with people and spending time with them. So that's some of what we're trying to give you a glimpse. And then, like I said, what can you do if you're like, gosh, I could use some help. I'd appreciate somebody being here. How do I look good? How am I a great candidate for somebody to come and serve me? So I think I said, who did we say we were going to have first? I wrote it down and then I forgot what I did. Did we say we're going to have Jera first or James? All right, James, man, James Delara, he was just out here in Louisville and he had a number of people from his team here, some local, some came out to see him. But I was amazed at how James was here working with folks locally and other folks on his team that he had fly out. And so it's kind of just another way of leveraging things. But James, hey man, tell folks who you are, what's going on in your business, and we'll kind of get into kind of your strategies and what you were doing when you were here in Louisville.
Yes. Good morning, everybody. Is my mic working good?
Yes, you're good. Loud and clear.
Okay, so my name is James Delara. My wife Pamela and I work as a team. We are here in right now we're in Cave Creek, Arizona. We just recently relocated. We were in Phoenix. We came a little bit further north. We were hired by Joseph Dukes about 7 years ago. And then, ever since then, it's just about, building relationships, helping families and helping new agents get started.
Awesome. Cool. And for those that don't know, what was your occupational background before you guys got started?
Pamela and I owned a couple of furniture stores here in Arizona. We had a store in Mesa and a store in Glendale. We were doing really well until 2008 when the housing bubble burst, and then our business kind of burst with it. So ever since then, we were kind of flopping around, figuring out what to do. And then in 2016, we found the insurance industry, and we haven't looked back. It's been like the biggest blessing that's pretty much ever happened in our lives other than our daughter.
Okay. Well, cool. So we've watched your team grow. I think I was looking at some numbers earlier, thinking you guys I've seen some points where maybe you're bouncing around 30,000 as a team a year ago. And I've seen you guys hitting like around 67, 70,000 a month in team volume. So I've watched your business grow. I've seen you find some quality people within your team. How much, I know I've seen you traveling out to serve a couple people this year. So talk to me about what are the things that you've learned, or what are the things that kind of you did to execute, let's say even this last trip to Louisville?
Well, the first thing we do is we make sure people know we're coming and invite more people to come and meet with us. So on this particular occasion, we had people on our team that drove from South Carolina, from Washington, D.C. to come and be with us because they knew that we were coming. And so we also have quite a few people there in the Louisville area that were expecting us. So we kind of made it into an event where we could spend a few days. So you and Noel had the boot camp, which we were able to take advantage of, which was awesome because we got to learn some new stuff as well as help our agents. And then we spent the next 3 or 4 days just kind of holding our new agents' hands and some of our veteran agents, building relationships with them. I mean, that was kind of like the key reason. Some of our agents that have been part of our team for, over a year, I never met any of their family members, things like that. So coming to where their home was, it was really nice to be able to spend time with. I got to meet Caleb's mom and his girlfriend, people that, I wouldn't have normally have met had I not come to their home location. So that was pretty awesome. And then we just kind of spent the majority of the time showing people that it's really nothing to be scared of, and there's really nothing all that difficult about it. If you follow the process, we're showing people, dialing is easy and fun as long as you have the right mindset. And so we spent the day dialing, booking appointments. We spent a couple of days running appointments. We had some really nice success as far as helping families. So the agents were able to see that, it's really a simple process as long as you put in the activity and do the work and not get yourself in the way and not overcomplicate things.
Hey, come back to having fun in the field, because you guys posted a picture that I thought about putting out on the Alliance Facebook group, and I was like,
I know.
If for those that had a chance to see this, I'm not going to post it because I know it's going to go out on YouTube, and I mean, but let me describe the picture to you. I saw a picture with Caleb's smiling face and James' smiling face, and a man that looked like he was fully naked lying on a bed. But you couldn't see the whole man because James's head covered it. So you just assumed that the man was fully naked. And I saw it. I was like, oh, dear God. I hope he was clothed. And so, but James, go ahead and fill in the story because, I mean, it was a funny photo, but I think you guys learned a lot from helping that guy out. So while the photo was maybe crack up and start crying, talk a little bit about what you and Caleb learned.
Well, yeah. Well, the most important thing is that, I spent the majority of my time teaching the people that the most important thing that you need to do when you meet with clients is build a relationship. Like, you need to take as long as that takes to build a relationship with your client, because as we all know, if they don't like you and they don't trust you, they're not going to do business with you. And so when we were talking to this client, and it took us about 30 minutes or so to get that relationship solidified. And the client specifically told us, he's like, I had filled out a couple of these request forms, and I met with another agent who came in here, and I didn't like him. He was I thought that he was very pushy. He didn't want to listen to me talk. He didn't ask me any questions about what I was trying to accomplish. And so he walked out. I sent him on his way. And then I was explaining to Caleb how, do you see how the most important part is building the relationship? Because once we built the relationship with that guy, he really wanted our help. And so he wound up picking a plan, that was $180 a month to help protect his family. But unfortunately, because he was disabled, his favorite position was laying on that bed watching TV, which you couldn't see in the picture. So it did kind of look like he had no clothes on, but trust me, he was clothed from the waist down. But he was extremely grateful for our help. And he's a veteran, he was a Navy SEAL. He had pictures of him in the service. I mean, so it was an incredible relationship to be able to meet that gentleman and build a relationship with him and hear some of his really cool stories, about his time in the service and how his veteran friends from the SEALs came to help him in times of need. He showed us collections that he had of watches and things like that. He told us all about his family. So it's really awesome. I mean, that's my favorite part of going on appointments, is hearing people's stories and making a new friend, because it's never boring. You're listening to people tell you their life story, and it's an awesome situation. And it was really, really perfect scenario to have Caleb experience that, because it makes your appointment just go that much smoother if you base everything on doing what you can to help the people. And then that's exactly where it went. And we were really happy that everything turned out the way it did.
Hey, and you know what's funny? Because you can grab so much from the photo, but then, as you said, then if you use the photo to dig deeper and find out what's going on, you say, oh my gosh, you look at the layers of what's happening there. So you've got what you learned. And then I think the other piece of that is just the fact that, okay, you had that experience that you and Caleb created together, whether the photo or not, but y'all are going to remember that. And that should stand out as he continues to grow and do things. So that's pretty cool. You create some moments and memories. So you start with, you're laughing or crying, you're hearing stuff, and people understand, hey, this business is real and it is fun. So that's cool. Awesome. I know kind of stopped you there, but so you talk about being in the field, having fun. What else you want to share about, the couple of days that you spent here?
Well, I mean, the biggest thing for me is the things that you learn. Like, you never stop learning. So, I mean, for me to come out and spend some time with you guys at the boot camp, I mean, we got to see Alex. We got to listen to some rookie agents and some veteran agents that came up and spoke at the boot camp, and I learned some new stuff, and that's the reason why it's so important to stay plugged in to the events. No matter how great you think you are, how much money you're making, there's always something to learn, and you can never spend enough time working on relationships with, whether it's with your veteran agents or your brand new agents. Help them get through the tough times, because everyone's going through those 5 periods of despair and things like that. So coming out and meeting with people and showing them that there's really not a big scary 5-headed monster. It's really just concentrating on the effort. That's what we pretty much focused our efforts on, was just the activity. Like, if you do this and this is what you should expect. And so we showed people, how to concentrate on the activity. And the results will come. And that's pretty much exactly what happened. And so it was awesome that people got to see that if you follow the system and concentrate on the activity, you're going to have some good appointments. You're going to have some bad appointments. You're going to have some great appointments. You're going to have some terrible appointments. But at the end of the day or the end of the week, once your work is completed for that week, you're going to have the results you want if you just concentrate on the things that you can control. And it worked out exactly like that. And there's really no better. Like, you can tell people a million times how great it is and how much it's supposed to work. But when you come and show them and they get to see it firsthand, that it's really not all that difficult and there's really nothing scary about it. And what you're really just doing is you're making a new friend and then you get paid for it. I mean, so who doesn't want to do that? So showing people in person and not just letting them hear me say it or let them look at numbers on a board or on a computer screen, but seeing how fun and easy the whole process can be if they simplify it and kind of get out of their head, get out of their own way. I mean, that was awesome to me, how it all kind of comes together exactly the way, we were expecting it to. I don't think it could have gone any better. So okay. The whole experience was amazing.
That's good. Now, some people, they say, well, how am I going to afford to go out and travel and spend time with people? So before we talk about maybe how much you invested, talk to me about your personal production, the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, before you took off to come out to Louisville on Thursday afternoon.
Yeah, that was one of the reasons why you wanted to have me on this call, isn't it? Because you wanted me to tell everybody. Anyway, we had a really good week, the few days leading up to it. We wound up submitting a little over 20,000 in total premium, including an annuity and some life sales, working current clients, working orphan clients, working new clients. So we were able to focus our effort on, the activity, because I knew I was going to be taking a few days away from the field and away from the activity that we're used to doing. So we were able to set it up, the way that we need to, because your schedule is flexible. So you can do whatever you want as long as you hold yourself accountable. So Pam and I knew that I was going to be taking some time away from our day-to-day activities. So we concentrated on getting 20 or 30 appointments within a 2 or 3 day period before I left for Kentucky. And we were able to do that just by, concentrating on the work. And with those, I think we had like 24 appointments. We were able to submit over 20,000 in premium, helping various clients that were either our clients already or new clients. And so because we did that and got that done, I was able to take a few days to concentrate on just helping other people and not worry so much about, my personal production.
Yeah, so we focus, I think, because some of how you make time for it. Well, you can make time. You can, again, if you got the money, you get the money by making time to focus on doing what you've got to do with your personal production. And when you personal produce a high level, it's like, okay, you can easily fund what you've got to do. So you go out and you book 20, 25, 30 appointments in 2-3 days. Look at what you can make happen. So powerful stuff there. And, in addition to some of the work you spent time, did you do, sometimes based on your schedule, if you've got more time, you can make some time for fun. Did y'all do anything for fun in addition to the work while you were here? Oh
yeah, lots of stuff. I mean, the Friday that you had the boot camp, for those of you that aren't aware, after the boot camp, Mike and Noel were really awesome to put on like a dinner and a fun event at some place called the Main Event. It's kind of like a Fun Cats kind of place where they have bowling and laser tag and video games and food. And we spent like 5 hours there bonding with the team. I got to spend quite a bit of time with other people that are part of the tri-state business but are not direct to us or on our team. So it was really cool to be able to spend time with them and get to know them better. So now when they call us for help, or if our agents call them for help, it makes things that much smoother. That was pretty awesome. And then on Sunday, because most people take Sunday as like a reset day, I was able to spend some quality time. That's when I got to meet Caleb's family. I met his mom. I met his girlfriend. I met his brother. I met his sister-in-law. I got to play with his dog, which was probably one of my favorite parts of the trip. So yeah, that his brother owns a restaurant. So he took us, We went and had dinner at his restaurant. We went to the movies. We went out to lunch. We had some really good personal time together, and helped solidify that relationship. And I think it was good for Caleb to see that you could have everything if you focus, because he was, he's thinking that we're all, no nonsense, constantly working 24/7, don't have any fun. Just, it's all about work, and money. And he saw that it's not all about that. If you schedule your time, you can do anything you want, as long as you focus on when it's time to work, you're working, and then you can have plenty of time to play, as long as you get your work done and get the results that you want in the time you slot for it. Then the rest is up to you to do what you want with.
There you go. Hey, that's powerful. It's like, I think if somebody's in my office, they see me working, but then when I leave, it's like, hey, we're going out there and having fun.
That's right.
It's like, hey, getting out there. So, all right. Hey, glad you're setting the pace and going out and serving. And I know it's not your only trip you've had this year going out and serving agents, but I know this is the most recent one. So I see the growth in you and Pam and what y'all are doing. And I see y'all putting in more wit to find more people to go serve. So way to go. Nice job.
Thank you.
All right. Hey, next up, Jared Gonzalez got an organization. I think I saw a peak so far. It's peaked at about just around 200,000 in premium in a month back in March. Got more things bubbling up. I know I've seen you travel, I think, more in the last 2 or 3 months serving people. So first of all, congratulations on a lot of things happening in your business. Here's my first question, Jared. What's stirred you to start getting out and getting out and seeing people more within your team? What's kind of stirred you? What drove the change?
Hey, Mike, good morning. Happy Fantastic Friday. I think just, you and Noel have set an amazing example just by serving our own team. And I've seen the fruits of your labor, just coming out and seeing our team and serving our agents. And really just a lot of our top leaders like Joseph Dukes, James and Pam, just seeing everybody serving the team and leading from the front. And I've really seen the fruits of the labor. And so I just made a decision to step up and start helping the team. And I can really see that, some of our agents who are putting in the effort, communicating, doing the work, for me to step up and go and serve them. I can really see how much of a difference that really makes. It's just like any relationship, whether you're dating someone or if it's a friend or a family member, you can't just always maintain that relationship over the phone or virtually. It's like you got to go see them, shake their hand, have a meal with them, give them a hug, to be able to maintain and build that relationship. I've just seen how much of a difference that really makes.
Cool. Now you were somewhere this week, right? You were working with people this week?
Yes, I was actually out in Las Vegas.
Okay. And so you out there, talk a little bit about what you accomplished by being up there, who you're working with, and some of the good things that came out of that.
So I was just trying to be very strategic about my schedule, as far as we talked about, work hard, play hard type of thing. Initially, I've got a couple agents getting started out there. And then I also have my sister who lives out there. It happened to be her birthday weekend. So I kind of made it a point to go out there for her birthday, spend some time with her over the weekend, and then schedule some dial time, Monday, book some appointments out there, got my Nevada license, took some agents out in the field with me. And then of course, Andy was out in Vegas as well, serving the team. So I was able to bring a couple of agents to his meeting and then make it back to Albuquerque last night for Andy also being in Albuquerque. So just being strategic about, spending time with family. If I'm going to make the trip, who else can I go and serve? Being able to take people with me out in the field. And I even took my sister with me to the meeting with Andy, and she's like, I'm thinking I might just get my license. So that was another cool thing too.
Hey, that's important. So the first thing I heard is, hey, number one, you're out there. It's not all about work. Yes, we're having fun. Yes, family is important. We work so we can do that. But the smarter you are about blending them together, the more productive you can be at doing both. So, because I know some people are like, well, I'm going to take a trip and I'm not going to think about work at all on this trip and and I deserve a real. People still remember that McDonald's commercial from the 90s or 80s. You deserve a break today. No, you don't. But you can work in a break and work at the same time and enjoy the ride and enjoy the journey as you're moving forward. We've learned that a lot watching Andy. So talk to me a little bit about the schedule. So you had fun over the weekend. Monday, you had a dial day. Is that right?
Right. So I got some leads out there in Vegas. Even though I was out of town, I still kept my same schedule that I normally do. Monday is my dial day. So I still scheduled that same time. It's funny. It was interesting too, because we were on, because I live in Albuquerque. So I'm used to mountain time starting dialing at 8 a.m. But I ended up starting at 7 a.m. Pacific time. So I had never really dialed starting at 7 a.m. But hey, people still answered the phone.
There we go. Hey, that's cool. So by traveling, you stretched yourself. You tried something for the first time. It's like, people do answer the phone at 7 a.m. Why not? Okay. So I just bought another hour of my day. And holy cow, that's like, that's like if you think I got another hour a day, 5 days a week, that's like 1, 2, 3, 4. That's like another 300 or 250 hours of working time you could add to your year.
That's right. That's right.
All right. What a moment. Okay, so you stuck to your core schedule, and now did you do your dial session in front of somebody or with other people, or were you doing that kind of on your own?
Well, I was physically on my own, but I participated in the dial Zoom that you and Noel host. And so I was able to actually serve the team by unmuting my mic and kind of, letting people hear me dial.
Okay, cool. All right. And then you ran out. Did you help some families on Tuesday and Wednesday?
I did. Yeah, we ended up submitting about 6 apps. I even recruited some of my clients, just sharing, recruiting across the table, sharing the opportunity. I had one client. She was a single mom of 6 kids, a veteran, and she was just kind of working as a hairstylist. And I told her, hey, you know what? Are you keeping your options open for, other streams of income? And so she's definitely interested in the opportunity. And between that household, I ended up just submitting like 2 apps for her. And then she's like, oh, can you help my mom and also my dad and my son? So it was just kind of cool being able to facilitate and build those relationships with clients. And you never know how things can turn out. I mean, she's interested in becoming an agent. Even my sister, just kind of getting her around Andy made a big difference. So it was just really cool to see. And also it was neat, something that I didn't really expect, just by me getting out there and kind of serving the team and being in the area that Andy was at. He actually invited me to have dinner with him and Andy Riddle, Mike Marisi, Adam Katz. We had an awesome group there. Mimi Romero. We went to an awesome steakhouse at the Wynn in Las Vegas. So I was super grateful that they invited me to dinner. We had a great time.
That's cool. Hey, that's really good. All right. So I think here's some other things as you travel. Some people have an awareness, some don't, of what's going on. And if you're tuned in, if you've not seen this, I think I'll share this with people here real quick. Let me see if I'm allowed to share my screen. No. The host is not allowing me. I would share my screen if I could, but the one thing that I keep bookmarked on my laptop all the time in my browser is the Alliance events page. I look at that a couple times a day as I'm talking to people and scrolling through, wondering who's where. Where is Andy going to be next? So, like, if you're not tuned into this, as a quick heads up, like if you're not aware that Andy Albright, Andy Riddle, Mike Marisi, and Adam Katz are headed to Kansas City, they're arriving there at 11:30 Central Time today. So you still have time if you're talking to somebody to get somebody up to see them. Steve Mamritas has got stuff going on in Boston tomorrow at 1. Andy's going to be in Westerly, Rhode Island on Monday at 2 p.m. You got Clay Murtis and Patrick Waddell and James Allaire hosting people in Phoenix on Monday. Stephen Davies, Jeremico Edwards, Rogers and Kim Strotter in Detroit on the 19th. Gina Hawks in Orlando on the 20th. Stephen Davies in Dallas on the 20th. My gosh, Dallas is blowing up. Gina's in Fort Myers on the 21st. I'm in Lakeland on the 21st, and Andy Riddle and I are in Tampa on the 22nd. I'm not going to go through everything, but just know that please be situationally aware as you're growing your business. It'll help you out. You have no idea when that'll coincide. Now, Gerald, I know you've had a couple of trips this year. I know you've been down in other parts of New Mexico. You got a quick story about someone else you've connected with or spent some time where you're seeing it paying dividends in your business?
Yes. So one of my agents who had on our team who's really stepped up, her name is Deborah Dixon, and she's down in Roswell, New Mexico. So I went down there so that we could, I was like, hey, let's do a dial session. Let's book some appointments. So her and I had an awesome time. We went out. She sat down with me, observed me dialing, and then I pretty much passed the torch to her and said, hey, your turn, get up and, let's get out there and book some appointments. And on her first dial session, she booked, I think, 6 or 8 appointments just after watching me. And then we went out, helped some families. It was really cool because we were really productive in the time that we spent together. We had a lot of fun out in the field. She's a recruiting machine. So even in between appointments, we were talking to people just in her warm market, sharing the opportunity. One of her former colleagues also we were able to sit down with on an annuity appointment, and she's writing her first annuity from that. So we were just really able we even sat and had lunch with some of her recruits. So it was just a really fun time. We took some pictures with some aliens, and it was just an awesome time. I'm really grateful that I was able to go down and really nurture that relationship with Deborah. And she actually came out to see Andy last night and brought her husband. And she's just recruiting a lot, and she's growing. She's in our top 5 Medicare agents to date, and learning the life side. So I'm just super grateful that she's stepped up. And because she has, I went down to serve her and help her grow her team. And so we had a lot of fun as well.
That's good. In fact, that's something big. I've had some people say, well, how do I get somebody to come to a family reunion in Miami? And what I've seen is when we as leaders go out to serve them, or whether we serve them by going out to see them or serving them in some other capacity, then it's people are more likely and willing to want to see more of the team. So whether it's getting to somebody, is how do I get one more person to family reunion? And by the way, hey, family reunion in Miami is going to be off the chart. If you see who's speaking and training, it's going to be crazy good. One of the cool things about our family reunion conference is it's actually one of the places where we have more time for actual sales and recruiting training. All the 4 major events are awesome, and they all have great training, but this is the one where the agenda opens up more time. Mark Aceta is still going to have a chunk of it. We know that Andy Albright's going to have a chunk, but if somebody's looking to learn more, oh my gosh, we've got more time slated for our top selling agents and our top recruiting and building agents to share with you, just because of the way that the agenda is set up. So that's exciting. But if you go out and you spend time with somebody, you have a meal with them, you do a dial session, they start to see more and like, look, if you're getting something out of me spending time with you, imagine if you could spend time with 1,000 of my best friends and take some time to learn. I just had 2 people get their tickets this morning that I spent time with 3 days ago in Philadelphia because they came out, saw a bigger picture, and said, we're in on this. What do we got to do next? I said, get to Miami, get your tickets. So, and just as you pointed out with Deborah bringing her husband up to see Andy, because you went out and spent time with her. Now her husband wants to learn more. That's how we roll. It's a big part of what's driving our growth. And you being able to promote the small event or you going out to see somebody can help you promote and get people committed to the bigger events. Jared, that's amazing. I know your business is growing a lot of different ways. Glad to have you here. Glad to see you out getting stuff done and making stuff happen. Thank you.
Thanks for having me, Mike.
Awesome. All right, next up, we've got different styles. I've seen this guy and his wife have tripled their business from a year ago. Jake and Bray out of Albuquerque, people seeing their names a year ago. Their business was running $45,000, $50,000 a month. They're now popping over $150,000 a month. So they have learned how to identify people, how to get them started, how to go out and serve them. I'm watching Jake, and I've watched his wife go out and travel to serve agents. Jake, I know you just came back from a pretty extensive trip, hitting a few cities, tying in a few different things. Let you kind of share with people, just again, remind people your background, and then kind of get into kind of some of the stuff you just pulled off on this last trip you had.
Yeah, of course. Thank you, Mike, for having me on here. Thank you, Andy and Jane, for everything you guys have done. I know we had a blast out here in Albuquerque last night with filling the room for people to come see Andy Riddle and Adam Katz and Mike Marisi. It's just crazy seeing what other leaders are doing to travel and help serve the team, that we can plug our team in when there's no financial tie to some of those other leaders, but they're still they're still there to help train them, build relationships with them, answer their questions. But yeah, my name is Jake Joseph. My wife, Ray, we've been together now. Has it been 11 years? 10, 11 years? It's crazy. It goes way too fast. And we're out in Rio Rancho, New Mexico. And thank you, Jara. So grateful for you for asking us that question. Jara actually asked us that question of, hey, you keep your income options open about, 4 or 5 years ago now. But prior to this, I worked in construction, building movie sets here in Albuquerque. And I was just looking away where we could create financial freedom. We could spend more time with our kiddos. We got Reina. She's 9 years old. She'll almost be 10, a full decade. It's crazy to say out loud. And then we've got our 7-year-old daughter, Catalina. So we're tied up with them, playing, we got gymnastics, volleyball, and the whole bit. But it's amazing that we get to create the flexibility, to be able to make sure and have the finances to put them in club sports and things like that. So, but again, Mike, Noel, thank you for having us on here.
Cool. So I think you saw some different examples. Like Jara went to one city, spent a couple of days there. James spent time in one city working with several people he had come. You went out and you hit multiple cities, working with a few people, kind of putting several cities back to back. And I think here's one thing that I learned, and I think it was Andy taught me or somebody, but they said, hey, if you work multiple cities in a row, it's more efficient from flight perspective if you've got to fly to them, because you only have to add one more flight to go to the next city. Whereas if you just do one city a week, it's going to take you 2 flights to go there and back. So if you got more cities to go to, if you string them back to back to back to back, it's only going to take you like less than 2 flights per city to do that. So like if you go to 2 cities, well, you've got 3 flights. So it costs you 1.5 flights per city. If you do 3 cities in a row, it's 4 flights. You get the math on that. But anyway, there's just another level of efficiency there. So I know you had several cities. Talk a little about what cities did you go to? Why'd you go to them? Who were you serving? And we'll talk about kind of maybe how you chose and how'd you plan that.
Yeah, it was a lot of counsel from you guys. I think we halfway through the trip, Ray and I had called you because I had some mishaps happen with rental cars, and there was something about jumping on a Greyhound bus or walking or hitchhiking or something. So we figured it out. But no, it actually started Thursday 2 weeks ago, and we had Gina Hawks in town in Albuquerque, and we had a packed out room. We packed out our office. We ran out of chairs. There was only standing room. Just Albuquerque's blowing up, and got to go to the airport with Gina first thing in the morning Friday, went straight to North Carolina. Had the invite to go hang out with Andy and all the leaders at the leadership cabin. And that was a ton of fun. Cause that was, to start off the trip that way was insane. Shooting skeet, fishing, again, building better relationships with all the leaders that were there, picking their brains and being able to I know Andy loves doing that stuff, and I believe that he put together that cabin for a reason, to help cast that vision and let other people dream build, because that's what Veray and I want, to have a cabin with 2 ponds and shooting range and place to ride 4-wheelers. It's a dream, so to kickstart the trip, the week that I was gone off, is something like that. It just reminded me what I was doing it for. Hey, don't get weary in well doing. I know it's uncomfortable being away from the kids and the wife for a full week, and being out and really not knowing. That was something in the beginning. It was, Andy always said, go to grow. You can't build a business sitting on your couch. And that's so true. And it was honest. It's always been a little nerve wracking, leaving the house and not knowing what to expect. We put a schedule together. We planned endlessly with you and Noel, trying to figure out what I should do in each city, how much time I should spend, what I should actually be doing. And at the end of the day, it's, sometimes it's just a gamble. You just go out there and you could have great stuff happen. You could have a meeting and 1 person show up. You could have a meeting and have 30 people show up. Right. And, I could honestly say this trip that I had this last week was the best one I've ever done. As we've been traveling, I think we're getting a better idea of what to do, but we, the weeks leading up to it, again, Mike, I know we had talked back and forth, just figuring out the schedule, what cities to go to. Started in North Carolina, at the cabin. That was a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Then Sunday morning, I actually got to jump in a car with Adam Katz and pick his brain for like 3 hours as I went down to Holly Ridge, North Carolina. Our Vray's cousin, Alicia, and her husband, Tom, live down there. And she's been in the business with us maybe, just really maybe 2 months now, running business consistently for 6 weeks. And so got down there, got to spend some time with their kiddos. They got a 3-year-old son and a 1-year-old daughter, and just building that relationship. Mike Guerra puts it really good, as he calls it, that windshield time. And I've seen you and Noel do it, Mike. You guys, we've always opened our doors. If we can, let me say this too, for anyone who has a leader coming into their town, because this just popped into my head. If you can offer them a place in your house to stay, that's huge, because we've had endless times where we've been able to host Mike, we've been able to host Noel, and keep them up till midnight, 1 o'clock, picking their brain. We brought out the ping pong table, and we've watched Noel play ping pong with our girls and just get to know them and have some fun. But being able to host a leader in your town is huge too. That's a quick little tip. But yeah, that windshield time, spent some time making phone calls with Alicia. We cranked our phone calls out in like just a couple hours. And then we were able to spend time, we went and got coffee with her friend Jasmine, super sharp, just got a real estate license, being able to get in front of people and build relationships there. And then, that was dial day on Monday. Then on Tuesday, we went out and ran appointments. And I really got to see, again, the whole point wasn't really to show her, yes, she got some training and, on the dials and on the sales side, helping families. But, I really got to kind of see an inside look at her life and how she's doing it 1 day a week. And she's got the 2 kiddos. She's got to make sure they get to school, and kind of see how her schedule was and working through that, so we can help her work most efficiently to hit her goals. Her original goal coming into this was to be able to work 1 day a week and make an extra $1,000 a month. That week I was out there, she wrote $3,000 in a single day, and is going to be able to put $1,500 in her pocket. So what she did in 1 week is what her goal was for the entire month, which was just crazy to see. And again, just that windshield time, getting to figure out what her and Tom are looking to get out of this, getting to build that relationship more. Now I know that's our family. So we knew her pretty well and her kiddos already. And now just being able to share the business and talk about the business has been a ton of fun. But yeah,
what you said, I just want to pause right there, because I think so. Sometimes people think, well, if I'm going to travel, I need to bring out my little mobile pedestal and set it up in their family room, and I need to start preaching and teaching to them. And And it's like, and I need to do a seminar. It's like, no. If you just live a seminar and you just get into the work and work side by side with them and show them as opposed to teach them. Now, there's a time to train if you've got a group of agents, but when you're going out, whether it's one or two people like that, I think the one thing is to live a sermon. Don't preach a sermon. Show them how you roll. Work with them, guide them. You're not there to just watch them. You do a little bit yourself, let them do a little bit. But I think that mindset of getting in and showing them to do while you're getting to know them is key. You're not going out to preach. I think that's the big thing.
Yeah. And just seeing where they're at. But again, just casting that vision. You can get so much more done in person with someone, breaking bread, hanging out with them, and just really, because it's the body language, it's just everything. It's so much more. Hey, Zoom is great, and it's so much more being able to be there in person with someone, and it's a lot more fun. We had a ton of fun meeting some fun people, running appointments and being able to help them too. So we had a really
naked people.
Not quite. No, I believe they all were fully clothed.
Okay.
So, we had some funny stories. We had some interesting people though, but really, really good people. Just had a great time.
Okay.
So yeah, no, not yet.
Right.
And then, so yeah, I was in North Carolina, drove south with Adam Katz 3 hours, hung out with Alicia for a couple days, got plenty of that windshield time, goal setting and dream building, and then flew up to Fort Wayne, Indiana, hung out with Mr. Herbert Coates and his group of people. Really there it was, and again, it wasn't as long as with Alicia. I was there less than 24 hours. But me and him, we grabbed some coffee, kind of again, got a better idea of where he's at, what he's looking to get out of the business, and what he's excited about, where, game planning on how Ray and I can help them move forward. And we ended up doing a meeting there, in his town, and we had, 8 or 9 people come out. It was awesome. A majority of them were from people that he knew and he pulled together. But it was cool because we also had a sharp couple from Jerry and Cassie Burbage's team come out too. So that was really cool, being able to serve others that are outside of our organization. Love being able to do that. But again, just pulling people together in a close group and identifying, a couple people who are, raising their hand like, hey, yeah, I want to get started. So just a really good reminder for me, knowing to, again, get in front of people, show them this business, whether it's in a group setting like that or go get a cup of coffee with them is so powerful. Being able to show them physical things and be there with them face to face. And then from there, had another leg, like you said, it does make a lot of sense hitting multiple cities, because from there, I was only a 4-hour drive to Elizabethtown, which is just south of you guys. So got to hang out with our friends Morgan and Max, and Morgan already had some appointments set up, and ran like 6 or 7 appointments there. Just windshield time, being able to show the sales side, but I just loved it because she was just constantly, this constant question, Q&A back and forth. Just picking our brain and figuring out how her and Max can grow their business to the next level. Ran some appointments there. I know she helped 2 or 3 families, and in that single day. And then we had a meeting that evening. They grabbed a good group of people together. I think we had like a dozen or so people there, and so that was a ton of fun. Just being able to share the business there, and then drove up to Louisville, hung out with you guys. Grateful for you guys putting on that boot camp. And, was able to have Morgan up there and just spend more time on that. And again, help serve the team there at your guys' boot camp, and then had a fun event afterwards. I know we had a good time throwing bowling. By the end of it, we were throwing bowling balls down because we found out we could test the speed limit on there. And so that was fun. It went from high score.
We were seeing who could throw the fastest bowling ball, and then we had a competition. Who could throw the slowest, right? Who could get under 1 mile an hour?
Yeah, Eamon got a sub 1 mile an hour bowling ball out. We were pretty impressed. It was fun. It was a ton of fun. But yeah, it was a trip. It was a lot of fun, and just glad I did it, because again, sometimes you won't know. It's kind of like going to these events. It's family reunion coming up here in the next couple weeks. If you haven't been before, yeah, sure, it's a gamble. I know 100% you're going to get every little bit, every ounce of money and emotional energy and time that you put into it, as long as you don't sleep through it, right? As long as you're actively there. I know 100% without a doubt that you're going to grow your business by going to one of these for the first time. And at the same time, it's like we can't exactly describe it to a T unless you're there. We can't expect to describe to you the taste of a banana if you've never eaten a banana before. So it's just stepping in faith, walking in faith, and growing and just going. Because again, I'll be in all honesty, was it the most comfortable thing? No, not exactly. And at the same time, based off of what, we're just copying your guys' business, yours and Noel's. And we know that you guys are nonstop traveling and seeing the team and going where you're deserved. And, we're looking to do the exact same thing.
You said a couple of things there I want to come back to. One, you talk about going where you deserve. The second thing is you're gambling, or you're placing intelligent bets. And I think that's where, so if somebody's saying, hey, should I travel? Who should I go see? Here are some things that I would, if you're sitting there thinking, hey, I'm at a point where I think I've got some people I need to serve, definitely check with someone that's growing their business and get their perspective. And I know Jake's done a great job of that. So, hey, where should I be going? Who should I be spending time with? First thing is, if you're hiring a number of people in your group, you've got more options. Finding some people in with, so make sure you're hiring so you've got some people to choose from. That's the first thing. So, if you only got one person, okay, you can go. But your sense of should I spend time with them is a little flawed because you don't have anything to compare it to. So give yourself some choices, number one. Number two, you're placing bets on people. And what are you looking for? Well, you're looking for good people that have done some things that are kind of lining up. Are they easy to work with? Do you like working with them? Are they following some direction? Are they inviting other people? So if you're sitting there, hey, who should I go spend time with? Okay, well, those would be some things. Are they in a city where I have someone else to work with? Okay, so those are some things. If you're a leader trying to figure out where should I go spend time with, who should I go spend time with, where should I go? On the flip side, if you're like, man, I wish my guy would come and spend time with me. Well, are you following directions? Are you showing up? Are you getting some results? Are you inviting other people? Are you pleasant and fun to hang out with? You can control those things. And so if you're like, man, I'd like somebody to come and join me. I said, well, I would look at that. Am I showing up? Am I getting results? Following directions, inviting other people, and pleasant to be with? Man, hey, you're like, it's like, we want to go place some more bets on you. Okay, I promise. Because again, we have to choose. We can't go see everybody all the time, but that's going to help out. As a leader, here's the next thing Andy taught me is like, hey, if you go to a city, how many legs can you work within that city? So if you're going to go, are you doing anything to identify through additional recruiting? And are you letting other people on your team know that you're going there and giving them a chance to invite and let people know that you'll be there? What was crazy was I was in Philly on Tuesday and I had 6 legs that I spent time with in that city. If you look at what Andy's doing, he has Andy Riddle and Adam Katz and Mike Mauricio on the jet with him. Well, there's 3 legs he's working with right there, plus however many legs he had in each city that he was there. So again, how do you compound your effort? So one, choose smartly where you're going to go. But once you're committed, hey, it's kind of like if you're playing blackjack and you seeing, ace come up, hey, let's double down. Or if you see 2 kings, let's do a split. And maybe you do double. Whatever it is, it's like, hey, you can have another leg there is doubling down. So if you're going to a market, what are you doing to see more than one leg? And for the person you're working with, what are you doing to invite and helping them invite so you're meeting more people? In fact, I know somebody was telling me because somebody was coming, they did. I think Jake was you. I think you said, hey, since Andy's inviting, we felt pressure to do what? You were telling me on Monday of this week.
Oh, yeah. It's crazy because, you spend time traveling. You spend time traveling, going to see, people that are in business with you now across the country. And then you get someone, our CEO and president, Andy Albright, coming to town, and you're like, oh, dang, like it's, hey, I'm traveling to see other people. Why don't I build out my hometown? And I think sometimes we've just grown complacent with that, but we just started, we had myself, Varay, we had our buddy Drew, we were just at the office, and we had the most fun, and we didn't even need any adult beverages. We were just hanging out. Our phones are on fire. We were calling people. Like Drew called this one guy in his phone, and when he answered, he literally said, Drew asked him, "What are you doing?" And the guy goes, "Smiling and dialing." And we were like, wait, what? And then Drew told him he did the forward script, and the guy was like, I got one question. If this isn't 100% commission, I'm not interested. And we were all, that's our guy. we were just having so much fun. And yeah, it was just funny because there was some buddies of mine from high school that, good friends of ours, both Ray and I. And then I had asked them 2 years ago. I don't know if I told you this, Mike. I found another one. But, told them originally 2 years ago and nothing came of it, called them again. And now, we're building our relationship back up, going to go grab some coffee, share the business. But we had one of our buddies that we went to school with, ran into him at his place of work, got his number, and was able to get him out to go see Andy. And he's just fired up out of his mind. He's like, man, this was perfect timing. I just left my last job. You called me right in between things. And, he got there and he was like, this is contagious. He's like, this is awesome. Like these people, I love these people. And it's just crazy, just the power of one more.
I think, and that's huge. So watch this. The fact that you'll do that because Andy or Joseph Dukes is coming to town. When you go to see people, the fact that you're doing that and talking about that, people on your team will do that when you go to see them. They'll be like, oh my gosh, they're coming. I need to get someone here. I need to fight. I need to do that. And so that's the next thing is people feel like, oh my gosh, he's going to seem to get somebody else here. Maybe they hadn't invited anybody up to that point, but now because you're going, they're thinking, shoot, I need to really do something now. And it puts some just gentle pressure on sometimes. And we're not mad if somebody does or doesn't, but certainly we're more excited if they do. Because why? We're looking to grow. We're looking for one more. Next piece is as we place bets. Yes, we're investing our time. We're placing bets on people. And we're looking to put the odds in our favor. So we're placing bets where we think we can win. But also, I've learned this. And you talked about Andy having dinner with that person. Jared talked about Andy having dinner with a person. I think it was, just spending time and maybe not ready to grow right now, but having dinner with them, a good quality person, knowing maybe the timing's not fully right. He's kind of with us, but he's a good guy. And when he's ready to pull the trigger, boom, I want him thinking about us. We're going to have the relationship now. So sometimes you're going to get a delayed start, like a late bloomer. Sometimes you're going to be somebody and they're a steady grower. They start and they just take off and they're growing steady, not super fast. Sometimes you're going to get a fast grower that gets all of a sudden you spend time with them and they come out and they explode. You don't know what's going to happen. And guess what? You get one, you spend time with them, they fizzle out and go away. Okay, so be it. So we can't control how they're going to end up, but keep in mind that the crop will come up in different ways at different times with different people. We can only control that we're out there planting, and so we're out there planting positive seeds. There's going to be positive growth. We just can't control the timing of the harvest sometimes. And I think that's a big thing. But you get out there, you're connecting with more people. You're getting out to serve them. We're talking about the different ways, different examples, recent stories. And as leaders, as we get this happening, and then we get everybody coming back together in Miami. We've got, 4 weeks, 5 weeks? What's today? We got 4 weeks till we get together in Miami. So, hey, we've got opportunities to get out and serve, identify a few more warriors, bring everybody back together in Miami, reset, reset the vision, recast the vision, clarify the vision, and identify what's happening next and make the next 90-day run. Guys, I look forward to seeing you in Miami. I look forward to seeing you bringing new people. I look forward to seeing you bringing more premium and laying it out so we go make another 90-day run. But let's keep running in this 90-day run. There's 4 weeks left. Not stopping, not slowing down. We will have some fun. We'll probably have an adult beverage or two down in Miami, hang out at the beach. I guarantee it will not snow in Miami. If you're concerned about weather, we will not have snow. That's a guarantee while we're there. So you don't have to worry about that like we had in Denver. But guys, hey, let's rock and roll. Thank you to Jara. Thank you to James. Thank you to Jake for setting an example and then being here today and sharing some notes about their example. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Recording stopped.